right, Ultimate Fantastic Four, Volume 4, Inhuman. This collects issues 19 and 20 of Ultimate Fantastic Four, as well as the first annual. All of this is illustrated by Jay Lee, with issues 19 and 20 written by Mike Carey, and the annual written by Mark Millar. I've already talked about the annual when I talked about the collections of all of the Ultimate annuals, so really I'm just talking about issues 19 and 20 here. This is, so far, my favorite volume of Ultimate Fantastic Four. There is quite a bit here that is a significant improvement over what came before, and then there's also some stuff that I don't like as much. But number one, things to like. Mike Carey does not feel the need to stretch this story out to be 6 issues long. That is a big Bendis thing. If you look at Ultimate Spider-Man, at least for the first several years, he was doing his stories in 6-issue batches so that it could easily be collected in trade and read that way. And maybe there's some benefit to that, but a lot of times those stories did not feel like they actually needed to be 6 issues long. And then when you get to this series, Bendis and Millar did that with the origin story. I already talked about that. It definitely did not need to be 6 issues long. Then you get Warren Ellis. He stays on the book about a year, and both of those stories did not need to be 6 issues long. Here, you get a 2-issue story of the Mad Thinker attacking the Baxter Building. It wastes absolutely no time. We jump right into things. If this was written by Bendis, Millar, or Warren Ellis, it would have taken an entire issue and a half for the Mad Thinker to attack the Baxter Building. I love that we are just jumping in. We can do a 2-issue story, and if you're worried about collecting these stories into trade, you could do 3 2-issue stories and then collect all of those in one trade. You don't have to have a story that is trade paperback length specifically designed to be collected in trade paperback. You can do shorter or longer stories, and I like that Mike Carey is kind of discarding the method that the previous writers on this series were sticking to. I also don't just love the method that the villain is dealt with at the end. The Fantastic Four, they are being escorted back to the Baxter Building after they're defeating Annihilus in Ultimate Fantastic Four Volume 3, and then the helicopter just barely lands on the Baxter Building. It's almost kind of hanging off of the edge of the building, and you would think when they landed that Reed would say, "Hey Ben, Sue, why don't you guys kind of help get that fully on the roof, because it might fall off the building and land on somebody." But they just leave it there, and when you're reading it, you're thinking, that's weird that they left it there, but the reason is because the helicopter, it is a Chekhov's gun. You see it hanging off the building there, and it's going to be fired later on in the story. And after the Mad Thinker, in this story, the Mad Thinker is a woman named Rona Birchill, I think is her name, and she applied to be part of the think tank at the Baxter Building, and then she was rejected because of her violent tendencies, and she is angry that Reed Richards, in her mind, took her place at the think tank. So that's why she's attacking the Baxter Building, and then she has captured and pretty much defeated all of the Fantastic Four. She has them sedated, and then she has a spaceship type thing that was in stealth mode right outside the building, and she's about to load the Fantastic Four onto the spaceship because somebody in Latveria has purchased them and I guess wants to dissect them, and then the helicopter falls from where it was and lands on her spaceship. And then Rona even says, that's not fair, you just won because of sheer luck. And I agree. I wish that there had been something here where Reed or one of the other four had outsmarted Rona in some way that she did not see coming. She thinks that she's defeated them, but then Reed did something that she overlooked, and then because of the actions of the characters, they are able to defeat Rona. You can still have her get away and say, "I'll be back in the future, next time, Gadget," but it needs to come from the actions of the characters. It doesn't just need to be, okay, and then the Hand of Fate decided to knock over that helicopter, and then that's why the Fantastic Four wins. And Rona mentions this a couple times, that this isn't your victory, this is just sheer luck. And then Sue later tells Reed, yeah, you were lucky, but then you took advantage of that moment, and that's why we won. Luck only matters when you take advantage of it and you use that luck. And yeah, but I still wish that this had been, like, maybe Ben isn't as sedated as she thought, because he's a giant rock monster, and you give him the sedative that you could give someone of that size who is made of human flesh, and it might not work on him. So maybe he gets up and he starts fighting the androids, and then he accidentally knocks the IV drip out of Sue, and then she is thinking about the helicopter, and maybe she knocks it over with her force field, and then that is how they win. Something like that. It would still come from the characters, and then it would be lucky that Ben woke up, and it would be an oversight from Rona, but it would still feel like the victory came from the characters more than, okay, and then the universe just decided that the Fantastic Four needs to win the day. So that is my very short thoughts on these two issues. I've already talked about the annual in another video, so those are my thoughts on Ultimate Fantastic Four Inhuman. Hope you guys like this one. I am tentatively more excited about going forward with this series. I really wasn't a fan of everything that came before, but I do like Mike Carey's writing, or at least I did on his X-Men run. That's the main thing I think that I've read from him. So I am excited about reading this and seeing where he takes the series. So that's all for today. I hope you guys like this one, and I will see you in the future with something else. In the meantime, have a great rest of your day. Catch you later.